I made 7 big mistakes when I was starting my first business. And not only did it cost me money, but it cost me my friend at the time because he's my business partner. And hopefully by you paying close attention, Insider, you're going to know exactly what you should not do. You see, Jack Ma talks about this a lot. He says that you should not ask people success stories. You should ask for what's been their greatest failures, and that way you get to earn back more time and you get to accelerate your results. Don't repeat the stuff that doesn't work. That is the key. Model success. So the first mistake I made was I was focusing on money. The problem with focusing on money is this. You're focusing on the outcome. It's like me, for example, looking at my muscles and saying, please grow, please grow, please grow. Nothing's going to happen. What is the process that equals outcome? Money is nothing but a reflection of adding value into other people's lives. When I was getting to my first business, which was an underrating clubbing events business, where we would provide experience to under 18 people who wanted to experience what it's like to attend a club. And not only did it provide value to them in regards to getting them off the street and into like a safe environment, but also it was a desire that the management wanted, because she wanted to, every Tuesday evening, she complained about how the upstairs venue was never full on Tuesday evenings. So we came up with a solution that would basically help us to create a win-win deal, business partnership with the manager. And this is why we was able to hire the venue upstairs in this big building for a fairly cheap price. The problem is we took great steps to launch that business, but then we lost that focus about focusing on the value. Money is a byproduct of value. You add more value, you get more money. We was not asking people, for example, exactly what they wanted to hear. What did they want to dance to in regards to songs? What sort of event did they want? What's missing? We did not survey people. We did not ask people for what they want. We just assumed what they want. And I was also starting my DJ career at the time, and I liked to DJ specific genre of music that was very popular back then called dubstep. The problem was I was imposing my reality onto the customers, and that's one sure way that you're not going to get the sell. You got to always ask yourself, what does the customer want? And not attach your meaning. You got to ask them exactly what they want, then give them what they want. It's really simple as that. And we did not do this enough. We just kept on focusing on money, and we just kept on imposing our reality onto the customers and not ask them exactly, specifically, what is their core desires. Another thing is management. The problem is not so much our management sucked. Me and my business partner, we're pretty good. The issue with management was it did not inspire the people that we'd hired. So we took great steps to create a brand where we had affiliates who would earn money for ticket sales. And we would hire these pretty girls who were very popular in high school to go and sell tickets. The problem is we didn't inspire them to sell tickets. So although they ended up being closed and they said they wanted to join our affiliate program, they weren't inspired to go and do it. Why? Because we were managing. Nobody is inspired by a manager who overshadows you, watches you, spies on you. We were not leaders. We did not inspire them with a why in regards to why we want to do this. We did not basically give them trust. We did not, for example, allow them to shine. We're almost like a high school tutor who watches the school kid just doing homework. It's just a terrible relationship we had with our affiliates. And that's the one big mistake that we made. We were not leaders, we were managers, and so the team, all of the affiliates were not inspired to sell tickets. So in the end, they didn't end up selling many tickets. Yes, there were some who were shining, but it still wasn't a lot of ticket sales in comparison to the people in other towns who had a similar sort of business. That was the second mistake. This third mistake was we targeted everyone. And there's a great saying you may have heard before. If you target everybody, you target nobody. You see, I find this all the time. I speak on stages all across the globe now, sharing these lessons I learned as an entrepreneur, and they invite me to these stages because they want to pick my brain in regards to what I did to be able to create success online. And one of the key things to be able to create a successful online business is you've got to get clear, who are you targeting? You've got to get clear in regards to your profitable niche. And the profitable niche normally falls under either health, wealth, or love. Now, if the business doesn't fall under that, there is another profitable niche the only profitable niche that's outside of the human needs, health, wealth, and love, which is passion. This is why, for example, CrossFit businesses do very well because it's a passionate niche. Vegans, what do vegans talk about? Vegan diets. So the problem was, is we targeted everybody. We didn't know who to exactly try to sell our tickets to fill our clubbing events venue. We just went and basically, along with our affiliates, we went and just stood outside the school gates, and we would just try to sell the tickets to everyone. And this is why our show-up rates were pretty low, and the ticket sales towards the end of the business, when we decided to fold this business, it began to decline suddenly because people didn't really feel like it was made for them. We had a specific genre of music, and we should have basically figured out exactly what the customers wanted and got clear who are the people actually attending our events. We did not do any surveys. We did not have people asking them questions. We had a lot of things that was missing. Nowadays, the key is to know exactly who you want to target. And this is why, for example, yesterday I was running a class to do with this. I had a friend of mine who jumped on the call to give advice to my new students, my new mentees. And he's got a very successful business he's created. In the last 9 months, it's done over 6 figures. And the reason why he's been able to do this is because he's targeting very specific target market. This being ex-police officers or police officers who want to come out of basically serving in the forces to create their own profitable online business. So, very specific target market. It allows the audience to feel like that message is exactly for them. And that is the key. If we feel like something's made for us and is solving an issue we got right now, that's when people buy. The problem is I was just imposing my reality onto everybody, so nobody actually ended up buying. So, next thing, the fourth mistake I made was I did not model, okay? I did not model success. We did not analyze our competitors enough. You see, just like as I mentioned earlier, Insider, you got to get clear what are the people around you who are in the same marketplace, what are they doing to market? Because here's a great quote I want you to write down. Success leaves clues. Do not ever reinvent the freaking wheel. Never be the first to the market. Because then you have to spend most of your marketing dollars on educating the market. You want to target those who are aware of other competitive options, and you want to be the best very product. iPhone, for example, was not the first mobile phone. However, it became the best early in the days. It's debatable whether or not it's best now, but early in the days when it launched, because Steve Jobs, all of the other great marketers at the time, they modeled success. They realized what the customers liked, what they didn't like, and they created a perfect product. We did not go to other competitors' events. We did not, for example, go undercover and ask the organizers question. We did not, for example, see our competitors as friends. We saw them as enemies. Jack Ma always talks about how he sees competitors as friends and is friends that you can learn from in regards to their mistakes and just leverage all of their mistakes from. So that's the key. What successful people do and all got in common is they leverage other people's mistakes. If you do not model something that works, you're reinventing the wheel. This is a sure sign that your business is going to flop. Go figure out somebody who's got a similar product offering as you or service offering and go model their success. That's the key. I did not model when I started a first business. Me and my friend was getting creative, and that's the problem. You don't want to get creative right at the start when you're launching your first business. Creativity comes after you reached mastery. You firstly got to understand the rules, and you got to understand the system, and then creativity comes later. That's the fourth mistake. Another thing is broken mindset. Now, I find the reason why most people fail in business is not because of a lack of a strategy. There's so much strategy out there in regards to running a business, as you are probably aware. What they lack is the right mindset that allows them to attract wealth. Most people I found who wants to become rich have got a poor mindset. They want to, for example, attract all their wealth, but in reality, they don't feel like they deserve it, or they resent people who are rich. And so it's no surprise. Studies have shown that's come out recently, how most lottery winners are more likely to go broke than the average American. Why? Because these lottery winners have got a broke mindset. They're going rich overnight, and they can't simply handle it because they got a broken relationship in regards to money. So if you got a broken relationship in regards to wealth generation, as well as running a business and other entrepreneurs, if you don't like other successful people, you're not going to become successful. As a great saying goes, the need to be congruent with identity is the strongest behavioral force. So how you view yourself internally dictates the behavior on a day-to-day basis. If you do not like successful people, if you don't like people with money, forget it. You cannot attract wealth. You got to create a rich mindset. And when I was younger, I didn't like rich people so much. And so no wonder we wasn't attracting a lot of wealth in our life. And at the same time, I didn't like selling. I thought sales was sleazy. I thought salesmen were scammers. But problem is every business needs to sell. And this is why once we sold a ticket, we never offered an upsell. We never, for example, offered a downsell or cross-sell. And this is why the business did not scale at the rate that it should have scaled. You got to get rid of this poor mindset if this sounds like you. You got to work towards getting that abundance mindset because you cannot attract wealth with a broken mindset. That is the key. And this is why most people fail in business. They don't feel like they deserve it. And no wonder most businesses go bankrupt. Now, the basically 6 worst mistake I made was wrong business partner. We were friends at the time, my business partner and I think this is one of the mistakes I made. I did not, for example, because it was a friend, there was an emotional connection. And as I always like to say, when the emotion is high, intelligence tends to be low. And so you got to always ask yourself, if you're going to be partnering up with somebody, try to do it with somebody that you like because of their skills, opposed to some form of relationship you've got, because then you've got a cognitive bias towards that individual, especially if it's a childhood friend. And so what ended up happening is I ended up being the person who did the most amount of work. It got to that stage where I was the one hustling hard and he wasn't doing much. He was just getting the money. So, the business ended up flopping because our business flopped, as our partnership flopped. And so I learned a lot in regards to that. If you're going to partner with somebody, make sure they're committed as you, and make sure also that they're somebody that they complement your weaknesses. That is the key. Your business partner has to complement something that you're not good at. So if you're an extrovert and you like to connect with somebody, well, allow them to be the introvert who's working hard in the background. That was me, right? As an introvert, I was back working hard in the background, online, on the laptop. And he was the one who's supposed to have gone out there, made more sales, but the sales wasn't doing that great. Now, let's go into the final one, which I believe is super important if you're going to create a successful business, which is product. Spelling's a bit all over the place this morning. Product equals market. What I mean by this is most people, when they're in a business, especially for the first time, they focus on the product. They focus on that idea, the genius idea. Nobody cares about your idea. That's what you got to realize. Nobody cares about how passionate you are. All your customers care about is what value you can provide to them. So if you don't actually focus on the market, because the way it needs to go is you got to focus on the market and then the product. You see, McDonald's does not make the best burger in the world, and yet they're one of the largest burger franchise in the world. The Dasani water bottle is not the best water bottle brand in the world, and yet it sells the most amount. Why? Because it's owned by Coca-Cola, who knows how to do this stuff. So you got to get clear. How can I now begin to focus on the marketing, the thing that's going to fuel all of those sales, and focus 10% of your effort on getting that perfect product, right? Focus on marketing, because that is what's going to make you money. And that's the big mistake I made, because we're just focusing on the events. We're just focusing on the idea. We're just focusing on all of this stuff, the product. But we were not focusing on the marketing. We were not focusing on sales, the thing that actually brings in the revenue. Insider, if you want to succeed as an entrepreneur, you got to realize that you are not in the service. You're not a product. Your business is not that. Your business should be defined by the people you serve, not the products or services that you sell. So this is why most people, they go broke because they spend hours, or if not weeks, if not years, thinking of that idea. Nobody cares. Go test it out. In marketing, everything is a series of tests. So be willing to just give it a shot. Don't spend months trying to create something. Just try it out. See if it works. Focus on the marketing and selling. That is the key. So these are the 7 big mistakes that I've made in my first year as an entrepreneur. I hope you found today's video helpful, Insider. If you have, by the way, be sure to let me know in the comments box below, because I don't tend to do many videos to do businesses or entrepreneurship, because Success Insider, as you know, is more about mindset, the thing that actually drives you towards success. As after all, business is nothing but a reflection of your mindset, and same in regards to your bank account. Your bank account is in direct proportion to your mindset right now. And that's why I focus on mindset. But if you do want to know more about marketing and selling, do let me know in the comments box below, and maybe I may consider some videos. Like this video if you like this video, and share this video also with your friends and loved ones who got to hear this message, as life is all about paying it forwards. Just want to say, Insider, thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, follow your heart, my friend, and take action and go live the life you're truly born to live. I'll see you on the next video soon. Take care.